love yours. Like J. Cole said, there's always going to be a girl that's better out there on tours, but you're never going to be happy until you love yours. And with this episode being about relationships, I feel like that line can resonate with a lot of people. And it's funny how that came about. Obviously, I've heard of this song and I love it. It's a great song because you gotta love your life and deal with the ups and downs. You can't be thinking everyone else's life is glamorous, because if you experience some sonder, so you really just realize everyone else has their own life around you and they're not just like NPCs walking around, like they're real people with their own lives. Like everyone has their struggles, everyone has their problems and their joys, and you aren't going to be happy comparing yourself to anyone else, and you aren't going to be happy until you love yours. And the other day in LA class, me and my friend were actually talking about relationships and how somebody can stay with a partner for so long. I was just saying how there's just like this almost otherworldly connection to a person, and I don't think you will really understand until you find that person. I've been with my girlfriend, we've been in the same school since kindergarten, and we started talking grade 6, and she gave me this like acorn thing for my locker, and she put like some mint smell on it to make my locker smell better, I guess. I don't like the idea of getting into a relationship if you aren't willing to actually commit to each other and just use it as a label, especially getting into one so soon. I feel like there needs to be time to really talk about it. I feel like a lot of times people kind of throw out relationships like this. They just hand them out and people just take them and then are totally okay with it, and then it ends like a week later. Like, and you got to take some time and realize like what a relationship is. Like that takes commitment, that takes energy, that takes responsibility, that takes love. Like you got to truly care about someone else. And if you aren't doing any of that and you were just labeling you and someone else as a relationship, and there's no level of commitment, and you guys are only doing that just because you guys want to, I don't fuck with it. I don't fuck with it. I don't like that. Mine is definitely not like lots of other people, and I'm very blessed to have my own situation. But me and her are really close, and there's just things that happen that are unexplainable. Like it's almost like we're meant to be together. And I know it sounds corny as hell and like, oh, you're young, but genuinely, like, I feel like throwing around the girlfriend boyfriend label is not right, and you shouldn't be getting into one if you don't genuinely even like the person. Like, it's hard sometimes if you feel forced by the other person, but that's when you gotta take initiative and realize, I don't really want to be with this person. Maybe you were only using them for, and that's where lust overtakes everything. And if that happens in your relationship, you guys are not a cooperating, lovable couple. You guys are using each other, and that's wrong. That's not right. Like you were dealing with another person's life. If you look at your own life and you be vulnerable with yourself, realize all the struggles you go through, all the hardships, all the victories you go through, you're sharing that with another person now. Now you guys can win together, but you guys will also lose together. And when you guys lose or get into a rocky situation, that is not the time to be throwing out lust or abuse, verbal, physical. Obviously, like, that is not right. You have to be think of equity and not equality. What are their needs? Not everyone's needs are going to be the same. And in a relationship, bro, you are your own person. Your partner is their own person. You have to realize their needs, their struggles, and their whole life as well as yours. And I think that's when you have to be open and be communicative. You have to be open and communicate. You guys have to talk to each other. So I feel like if you take a break in a relationship, That shit's not gonna work, gang. It's either you guys break up or you work through it, because a break, that is breaking up. Like, what does that even mean? A break? What does that mean? You guys are gonna go fuck around with other people? Bro, you guys are broken up. A break isn't real. Don't think of a struggle in your relationship and immediately combat it with a break. Combat it together. Combat the rocky road together. Or if you guys genuinely can't handle each other or the situation, you gotta part and work on yourselves. That's the most important thing in a relationship, is yourself. You gotta have the energy to take care of someone else. You gotta figure your shit out before you try to figure someone else's shit out. And obviously, when you're young, when I'm young, if you're selfless enough, you're gonna want to help a lot of people. But as I'm growing older, you gotta care for yourself too, man. You can't be wasting all your energy, and I shouldn't be wasting, shouldn't say wasting, but using all your energy on someone else. You gotta use some of that for you and take care of you and learn who you are. Relationships, partners matter. And the word relationships and boyfriend and girlfriend shouldn't be just thrown around like nothing. That shit matters. You can't fix anyone. That might be a hot take. You can help people through things, but if they don't want to help themselves, if they don't want to change, you can't make them. There's a lot of people out there that might be attracted to someone, but their personality, who they are, is really shitty. They just aren't either in a great spot, or who they are just isn't as great. You can't expect to get into that relationship and change them. That is not going to happen, because maybe you can help open their perspective and give them opportunities to heal, but you can't change them. They have to change themselves. They have to work on themselves. Because if they don't want to change, then they won't. If they do want to change, they will. And you might be thinking, well, I'm going to get into that relationship and make sure she changes and works on herself. But you can't do that. You can't control someone else's brain. You got your own. You got your own life to worry about. They got their own brain and their own life to worry about. And you can't control someone else. You don't have a chip in their brain controlling them with a controller. And like I said, you can give them opportunities and open their perspective, but you can't change anyone. And I seen this one thing on TikTok, actually, and it's great. In a relationship, you guys should be like this, not this. Be this, not this. Be your own person, working together. Don't be codependent on each other, because that shit does not work. Trust me, okay? As soon as you're codependent, being alone is scary as shit. I mean, being alone in general is not great, but if you've been codependent for a while, you got to realize when you are. Some examples are like relying on someone for their energy, maybe some money, all the time. You gotta separate that codependency. Don't be throwing around relationships like they're nothing. They truly matter. You and another person are your own beings. Think of Sonder. Everyone around you has their own life to worry about. And if you aren't going to take that accountability and that responsibility for another person, don't get into the relationship. Don't be throwing around lust. And you aren't going to be happy until you love yours. Everyone has their quirks and those things that just kind of annoy you, and be open with your partner. Nobody's perfect. I think of my partner as perfectly imperfect. I love her, and she's pretty and smart and everything. And she's not perfect, and I'm not perfect. No one on this world is perfect. But in my eyes, she's perfectly imperfect. And I feel like that's a good thing to take into a relationship. And I truly believe the person and their personality and how they talk and who they are matters so much more than their looks. But that doesn't mean looks don't come into play. Like, you got to be attracted to your partner. I'm attracted to mine, and she's great. And so we were talking from grade 6, and we kind of stopped in grade 7, and then obviously nothing's gonna be serious in grade 6, but like, Google, what's it called? Google Chat. What's it called? Is it called Google Chat? Chrome Chat? Google Hangouts. That's what it was called. Google Hangouts. So she like texted me on Google Hangouts, some classic grade 6 shit. Can I give you this acorn? All cutesy and whatever. I said yeah. And then we just kind of talking and everything. We weren't like girlfriend and boyfriend, but it was like a situationship in grade 6. It's funny. And then anyways, skip grade 7. We didn't talk. I kind of stopped talking because like it was too hard. It was too hard because like I had to go on my computer and text her, and I didn't have a phone or anything. It'd be easier to text on a phone, right? You're in grade 6, so like you ain't onto that level of commitment right now. And then from grade 8, I texted her again, and I think the summer of grade 7, and then we talked from grade 8 till grade 11, and that's like almost 3 years together because we were talking, and then boyfriend and girlfriend. We were together for almost 3 years, but I think it's important in relationships to both take some accountability, especially if it's a mutual breakup, because if it's a mutual breakup and you're blaming everything on another person, like, you are not being the right guy, and you are not being the right person trying to justify or trying to blame a breakup on anyone else. And I'm not saying she did that or I did that. I'm just saying if anyone else had, maybe a mutual breakup, and you can be sad about it. But I think ranting or kind of like publicizing rumors is very messed up, because especially if the people in the relationship never said that and rumors got around and then someone got hurt because of it, or one of the partners is trying to make the other partner feel or seem so much worse than they are because of how they feel and how heartbroken they are, right? Still. And I don't think that's right. And in my case, I was kind of like growing comfortable, and we kind of started separating like while in the relationship. Like, we stopped communicating so much and expressing our feelings, and I got a little bit more comfortable and started to focus more on myself, because I miss, like, I feel like grade 9, 10, 11 are integral parts of your life and finding out who you are, right? And I feel like I kind of missed that, and I didn't directly tell her because I didn't even realize it really. But, looking back, I was kind of separating, and we were just separating, because I think I needed to find myself. I know I need to find who I was and what my ambitions are and what I want to do with my life. And I feel like our breakup was integral, and I feel like sometimes that's okay. Like, not every relationship is meant to last an entire lifetime, but also me and my girlfriend got together again this year, and I feel like it's right now. Not saying it wasn't right before, because it obviously was, but that break was needed. Main points of this episode. So, lust ruins relationships. Loss of connections and comfortability ruins relationships. Take it from my own example. As soon as you get comfortable, you lose that connection and you lose your communication. And it's never on purpose, but I feel like you got to realize it, or your partner's got to tell you. And if you have to work on yourself at that moment, you got to tell them. And that might mean you guys got to break up, and that's okay, because it's better than going through another 4, 3, whatever, however many years or months with someone that is just hurting because you aren't putting the effort in. Trust me. I've been there. Okay. I was focusing on myself a lot, and as I was doing that, you know, your relationship just grows apart. You guys grow apart. So thank you for this episode. I know this was a long one, but I just feel like I should share some knowledge on our relationship. So I actually also, and if anyone has any questions about anything, write them in the comments. Let me know, and I'll answer them with my knowledge. Okay, guys. Peace.